I'm going to record this in case we say something good.
Sure.
So, I have that completely open ego, right? And one of the things that has occurred to me, and we can look at you in this regard with that completely open G as well, is that, what Ra says is that when you have a completely open center, it's not a deficit. You've actually done the course. You
Mastery.
graduated.
Yeah.
You're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So in that light, I actually understand the ego. You actually understand the G.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is look at our lives from that perspective and call that out of one another. So one of the things that I have noticed ever since I heard Ross say those words, my life completely changed in relationship to money because money and the ego are kind of the same to me. Like that's
Yeah.
where it
Yeah.
happens, right?
Right.
And what I can see about the ego and money particularly, is that it's not anything that we think it is. It is not logical. There's no
Right.
logic in that mix. It's individual tribal, so there's this whole bargaining thing. But I mean, look at the people who have no money, they never get any money. And look at the people who have tons of money, people want to give them shit all the time, right? And
Yeah.
I just have decided not to even look at my finances because it's just working and it's kind of magical. And I'm pretty sure it's not possible to do what I do. So I'm not going to like
Mm.
microscope it and realize that it's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first thing I would wonder if I were in your situation, and I'm so glad I'm not. But you are in civilization. Your quarter is civilization, so it is about building in the real world. And
Yeah.
Saturn wants to build in the real world. It likes that. It's its jam.
Mhm.
In the teachings in astrology about Saturn are, if you give Saturn real building blocks, Saturn holds those for you. If you're wishy-washy, you don't get anything.
Mm.
And so civilization is about making something in the real world. So there's a good thing about that for you. You're one bit closer to that whole reality, certainly than I.
Well, I know that in my relationship with money, I have magic. I have when I am in my flow, the exact amount of money that I need for a thing
Exactly.
comes to me,
Exactly.
that. So I enter into a state of trust about money quite often.
Yeah.
And that's most often when I am conflicted is dealing with other people
It's always it.
and corporate things, um, and thinking that it's supposed to be a particular way, you know,
Another thing I just was
the
pondering about,
guilt, the guilt motivation.
just like go away from there. I mean, I was thinking about things I did this whole little journey through Portugal, and of course I was looking at old things and ancient things and thinking, you know, when people, it's only the last 400 years that we have made money into a god with the
Mm.
with the cross of planning and the big bargain thing that our whole life has become about. And over these last 400 years, we've all been indoctrinated to think if you're good with money, you're a better person. If you have money, you're a better person. If you know how to save money and budget money and all those things, you're better. You're not as good a person if you're not good with those things. But
Sure.
before that, you just did the thing that you were there to do. You
Right.
you tilled the field, or you got your mule and went and sold shit, or you were the king, or whatever your position was. You cooked in the castle. It wasn't about this lucre thing. And so we've made it into that.
Yeah.
And it is magic. And there's
I may have to go because an insurance person is maybe coming by before noon, so Max may come in right now and go, that person is here.
Okay, that's cool. Well, let me
Didn't,
just,
didn't, I'm just saying if I have to like run, and it may be for 10 minutes.
okay. So
Yeah,
I imagine like the
they
thing
are here.
they are here.
All
Okay.
right,
All
I'll
right.
get back to you. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, I'm still recording and I've been talking with Philippe about money. He he is in a situation with some this budgeting thing has to go on, and I have this completely open ego. And one of the things that I've noticed that I do is I get in touch with my intention when I want to buy a thing or have a thing or get a thing. I'll say get a thing because, and then I have to let it go because I don't have money to go out and get the thing I want, but the thing always shows up. It's it may take a while, but always shows up. And if I can let go of any resistance in me to it showing up, um, then it can show up. I'm not strategic, so I'm certainly not going to be setting goals and making those steps. I can remember at one point in my life a long time ago, I would take those classes that say you have to set your goals and then you have to make your steps on how you're going to achieve your goals. And I would do those little things, you know, I do it on paper, but then I never thought about that paper anymore. It's just that's a very strategic way of doing things, and that's the seven-centered way, the left-minded way, and I have a right mind. So I have developed this way of being with money and letting it be magic, letting it show up when when I need it and not compressing it into known factors. You know, there's a whole money course that Rob brought to us and I've taught even. And one of the things that you look at to see where a way is for money to come in is you look at the third line in any gates that you have defined. And that's the third line. The threes are always the material lines. But Ra also says that it's always not self when we're doing that. And so I love knowing the mechanics of everything, right? Um, but the only way for me to actually exist within the realm of, like I was saying, people think that if you're good with money, you're a better person. I mean, it just really is what people think in our world. And the only way that I can live in this world that has such a strong thought form as that is to let it be magic and let it be okay that it's magic. And I've gotten to the point where I can even say that to people other than human design people. It's like, well, I never was so good at budgeting and figuring out and doing all of that. But when I let money be magic, it shows up when I need it. And it's interesting how even muggles, you know, who don't understand that I'm talking about human design mechanics at all, they can relate to it because, you know, more people don't have a defined ego than do. And three out of the four gates in the ego are tribal, and tribal has that bargainy thing, which is breaking down now. We're becoming more individually polarized with the shift in 2027 to the new incarnation cross that we're going to be having as our foundation. We're going from the cross of planning to the cross of the sleeping phoenix, and the sleeping phoenix has a lot of individuality in it. And right now, as I make this, the one gate in the ego that is individual is the 51. That gate is shock, and it's in the transits right now, the 25 and the 51. A lot of people are just getting shocked right now, and um, I think the truly only way to be at ease with what's going on in the world as we see things breaking down that we have counted on without even thinking about it for so long is to surrender, to trust, to release all resistance and let the magic come in all the ways that it can. So this is me being Tiera.